What if the most annoying parts of your day could suddenly become effortless, one upgrade at a time? If your setup still works the old, slow way, that's about to feel painfully outdated. Some of these 25 tools bend steel, others weld with light, and each one hits harder than the last. Canned air always runs cold and quits halfway through the job. Spinning at 150,000 RPM, the WOLFBOX MF100 fires a focused jet of air that blasts dust out of keyboards, PC fans, and car vents without a single refill. 3 speeds dial it from delicate electronics to caked-on grime, and one charge lasts around 100 minutes. Buy it once and never toss another empty can in the trash. Regular scissors give up, the second cardboard gets thick, leaving your thumb sore and the box half open. This little SnapFresh cutter turns that chore into a smooth glide, its self-sharpening blade slipping through cardboard, carpet, leather, and quarter-inch plastic like it's tissue. A safety lock guards against slips, an LED lights the line, and the whole thing weighs less than a phone. Moving day and craft projects finally stop fighting back, and your fingers thank you afterward. Right as a fix turns fiddly, an old corded iron leaves you idling, waiting on heat that never seems to come. The Fanttik T1 Max hits over 800 degrees in about 7 seconds, running cordless off its own battery or straight from USB-C. Set it down, and a gravity sensor cools the tip instantly, sparing your board and your fingers. Pocket it, and your whole workbench walks out the door with you. Nylon rope usually unravels into a fuzzy mess the instant a blade touches it. The ROMECH hot knife heats up fast, then slides through synthetic rope, webbing, and fabric while melting the edge closed in the same motion. Dial the power low for thin ribbon or high for heavy strapping, with a full kit of tips for the odd shapes. Every edge comes off sealed, tidy, and ready to knot or sew. Copper pipe wedged an inch from the wall barely leaves room to fit 2 fingers behind it. The RIDGID 32573 was built for exactly that trap, small enough to hide in a palm, yet it wraps the pipe and shears right through copper, brass, or aluminum. Its auto feed ratchet tightens on its own with each turn, so there's no room-hungry swing to complete. Say goodbye to hacksaw mess and crushed tubing, just a square, burr-free cut in one of the tightest spots in any home. Hand-taping drywall is where good weekends quietly slip away and never come back. The DELKO Zünder banjo taper lays mud and tape at the same moment in one continuous pull, feeding up to 500 feet before a reload. Every seam comes out evenly coated and arrow flat, the kind of finish that used to take real practice. What crawled by over an entire weekend now flies past in an afternoon, and the seams look skim-coated by a pro. 2 rough boards go in looking like scrap, and moments later they lock together like they were carved from one piece. Turning 10,000 RPM, the DEWALT joiner cuts matching slots that hide a small wooden biscuit deep inside the seam, pulling the panels tight with nothing at all showing. Cabinets, tabletops, and shelves gain hidden joints good enough to pass for an expensive, high-end shop. A joint that once needed clamps, glue, and guesswork now snaps together in a single plunge. Swirl marks and cloudy haze quietly age a car years before its time. Run the WORKPRO dual action polisher across it and the finish wakes up, deep, wet, mirror clear. Its off-axis motion spins the pad in a way that lifts scratches and oxidation without burning the clear coat, so beginners can't easily wreck the paint. Cordless freedom means no cable dragging over fresh wax. That first sharp reflection staring back looks like it left a pro detailing shop. Glue never truly rescues a cracked bumper or a split tank, it only stalls the trip to the trash. This plastic welder takes a different route, melting metal staples across the crack so the 2 halves fuse into one solid piece. Different staple shapes lock corners, curves, and long splits, and the bond ends up stronger than the plastic around it. Radiators, dashboards, kayaks, even trim. Parts you'd have tossed now get a whole second life for just a few cents. Tape measures sag, kink, and flat out misbehave the moment a room grows wider than your outstretched arms. The Huepar laser measure fires a beam in 2 opposite directions at once, reading the entire span the very second you stand in the middle. It carries its reading past 600 feet, and the backlit screen flips itself upright however you happen to hold it. Stand perfectly still, tap once, and the walls report their own size, pinpoint exact, with no helper needed. Ever heard a rattle deep inside an engine and had no way to actually see it? This dual-lens borescope threads a tiny high-definition camera into places your eyes will never reach. Engine cylinders, wall cavities, clogged drains, packed pipes. Bright built-in lights wash the darkness away, and twin lenses catch what a single camera would miss entirely. Rather than rip open a wall or an engine on a hunch, you peek first, pin the fault, and touch only what's truly wrong. Hit the switch and bright green lines shoot across every wall in the room at once. Set the CIGMAN down, let it self-level, and it locks those beams dead flat no matter the surface. Tile rows, floating shelves, cabinets, and picture walls all snap into alignment without a pencil, a bubble level, or a guessing game. The green beam stays sharp even in daylight, and a magnetic base frees both hands. Shelves and frames line up across a whole wall in minutes, none measured by hand. Every framing crew's real enemy isn't the wood, it's the air hose tangling underfoot. This DEWALT framing nailer ditches all of it, driving 3.5-inch nails deep into framing lumber on battery power alone. Bump fire mode lets you walk a wall and sink nail after nail almost as fast as you move. Free of hoses to trip on, free of that droning motor, and ready to fire the instant you are. A full day of framing suddenly feels lighter and far quieter. Few things terrify a homeowner like a flooded basement at 2 in the morning. Drop the Acquaer pump into the water and its sensor takes over automatically, moving more than 2,000 gallons an hour and clearing the room before real damage sets in. When the level falls, it shuts itself off, so it can sit ready on standby all season. Pool covers, hot tubs, window wells, and garden ponds all drain with the same effortless pull. It rescues the day before you've even finished panicking. Tired of hauling a hose across the yard just to get a limp, pressureless trickle? The Aihand cordless washer delivers a real blast anywhere, firing water at nearly 1,000 psi while cutting you loose from the faucet, the hose reel, and the power outlet. Drop the intake into a bucket, a lake, or a rain barrel, and it feeds itself. A 6-in-1 nozzle shifts from a wide rinse to a needle-thin jet in one twist. Miles from the nearest tap, even the most stubborn dirt doesn't stand a chance. Somewhere in your engine, a leak the width of a hair is bleeding away your gas mileage. The AutoLine Pro HyperSmoke ends that hunt by flooding the system with dense, visible smoke, so the leak reveals itself the moment a thin wisp curls out of a cracked hose or a failing seal. Adjustable pressure keeps delicate lines safe. A built-in compressor means no extra gear to haul, and one fill runs for hours. Follow the smoke, find the leak, and fix the one part that was actually failing. One pass of fine mist turns a scuffed old dresser into showroom furniture. Squeeze the trigger on the HVLP sprayer, and a fine, even mist lays down a factory-smooth, streak-free coat over furniture, fences, cabinets, and doors in a fraction of the usual time. 3 spray patterns and 4 swappable nozzles let you dial the flow from fine trim work to broad panels, so paint lands exactly where you aim and nowhere else. What used to eat an entire weekend of taping now dries mirror smooth before lunch is over. Digging 30 fence post holes by hand is the fastest way to end a weekend with a wrecked back. The SuperHandy cordless auger spins its bit down into packed soil, chewing through dirt, roots, and hard clay while you just steady it with 2 hands. Free of gas, pull cords, and fumes, one charged battery keeps boring hole after hole for planting, fencing, or ice fishing. What once meant hours of blisters and a heavy shovel now takes a few quick minutes and your back never feels a thing. Flip this drill fully upside down and it still bores dead straight through solid steel. The VEVOR mag drill grips with over a ton of electromagnetic force, holding dead steady while it bores crisp 2-inch holes sideways, overhead, or flat on its back. Fabricators and ironworkers who once wrestled a heavy drill press into position now carry this in one hand and let the magnet do all the anchoring. The beam never shifts, your back stays out of it, and every hole opens precisely where you scribed the mark. That rusted bolt fused to a frame has ended more repairs than any broken part ever could. Instead of a dangerous open flame, this induction heater surrounds the metal with a magnetic field and brings it glowing red in about 30 seconds, breaking the corrosion's grip so the bolt twists right free. Nearby hoses, wiring, and paint just an inch away stay completely cool and untouched, a promise no torch could ever make. Swappable coils reach studs, nuts, and buried bearings, finally ending one of the shop's oldest grudges. Thick steel rebar refuses to bend by hand without a brutal, sweaty fight that punishes your back and grip. Set the bar into the Anbull bender. Press a single button and a hydraulic arm folds that solid steel into a precise angle in one smooth motion. No sparks, no wrestling, just quiet force. Watching a rod that stubborn curve so smoothly almost doesn't look real. Contractors save hours on every footing and cage, and the finished bends come out consistent enough to line up perfectly. Raw power delivered with unsettling calm. Bare hands versus a heavy sheet of glass or a stone paver never ends well. No handle, no mercy. The GRABO Pro solves that in one breath, pressing a rubber seal onto almost any flat surface and locking on with electric suction strong enough to hoist hundreds of pounds. Slabs, drywall, tile, and wood suddenly come with an iron grip and a comfortable handle. What used to demand two people and a lot of nerve becomes a confident one-handed lift. It turns dead weight into something you can simply pick up. Light runs along two steel edges, and they melt together into a single seamless line. A handheld laser stitches two pieces of steel together, fusing metal up to 8 times faster than old-school welding, and the seam comes out clean, strong, and almost too smooth to believe. Over 100 built-in presets set the power for you, so even a first-timer lays a solid bead. One click, and it switches to blasting off rust or slicing metal instead. Welding just leapt into a new era, and it fits in your hands. That's 25 fixes for the daily headaches you've lived with for years, finally solved. Which one are you grabbing first? Let me know below, drop a like if it earned one, and subscribe. The next batch gets even wilder.